Hello, this is Nico over at Charlie's Foreign Car, and we have got a BMW X3 that has ingested a belt inside the engine of this car. So if you don't know what happens, the belts start to fray, the tensioners, the belt tensioner gets cocked off to one side, it starts feeding the belt, and it starts fraying the belt, then it starts feeding the belt into the front crankshaft seal, right into the engine, right into the camshaft, into the crankshaft timing gear, and then the car will jump time. Luckily, this car, the customer caught it before because all the lights went on the dash, and they had the wherewithal to pull over, shut the car off, and they saved the engine by doing that, because usually this is catastrophic failure. So down there you could see the crankshaft is down there, and you can see there's no crankshaft seal in it right now because it got torn to pieces by the serpentine belt being fed through that front crankshaft seal area. This is actually part of the crankshaft seal itself right here. It rips the crankshaft seal apart, and then here's the serpentine drive belt that got ripped apart, just shredded in here. It fed itself into the engine, and the bad part is sometimes that it's directly in line with the timing chain right underneath there. Not to be confused with this oil pump drive chain. The timing chain for the engine is right up here, right where my finger is up there. So luckily that didn't happen on this one. Here's another chunk of belt, and it made it all the way down into the oil pickup tube. And inside here, there's also belt chunks that have sucked in right in through that oil pickup tube. It was ready to grenade. Down here, we have the engine oil pan removed. Lots of small belt fragments all in here, just lots of crud. So we're gonna clean all that out. This is a 4x4 all-wheel drive vehicle. So the axle runs through the oil pan. This hole right here is for 4x4 X3s. The two-wheel drive does not have that. The differential bolts right to the side of the oil pan, and the axle goes right through it. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna clean everything, take everything apart, get all the belt fragment out, put all new gaskets on it, put some fresh oil in it, and start the car and run it and see what is happening with camshaft deviation numbers. And also make sure that the Vanos is advancing and retarding properly. Just make sure that we're getting a change. If a small enough belt fragment made it through the oil pickup, then it has the potential for, clogging those ports, and then we could have, we could burn up a camshaft journal, we could burn up a crankshaft journal, we could make the Vanos not work. All kinds of bad stuff can happen. Once we get it running, we probably want to put 50 or 75 miles on it, make sure that everything's good with it. Again, our cam correlation numbers, crankshaft correlation numbers, and then make sure that the Vanos units are changing when we go and do a Vanos test through the ISTA test plan on this car. So we have this engine running and back together now on this 2011 X3 that has ingested a belt without removing the cylinder head, by the way. To kind of summarize what happened here, the belt came apart, went into the front crank seal. It did not jump time. We pulled the oil pan and the valve cover down. We picked out all the belt pieces. The timing chain actually didn't have hardly any belt pieces in it, if any at all. The oil pickup screen was clogged with it. Not totally clogged, but it had some stuff in there. We cleaned everything out, renewed all the gaskets, put new oil in it, test drove it, and now we're here. We're testing the Vanos operation, making sure that it is switching. We do not have a clogged oil galley right now, I could say that. We're gonna go put a couple more miles on it. The customer wants his car back. We're gonna get it back to him and give it like a 100-mile check afterward. We're gonna ask that the car comes back after 100 miles so we can just go recheck all this work and also get back in with the ISTA. So thanks for watching.